Hello, and welcome to this session on speaker tips and guidelines for the 2025 Cesium Developer Conference. I'm Chris Andrews, VP for Platform Integrations at Bentley Systems with the Cesium team. Most of my career has focused on product management and product development. I've started and delivered dozens of products and projects over the years, and for those initiatives, I've ended up delivering hundreds of presentations to conferences, customers, and even in classrooms. The largest audience I've ever spoken in front of was 18,000. The most exciting presentation that I've had was at the NGA with no Wi-Fi when I was attempting to demo an internet-connected product. Fortunately, I had recorded a video of the entire demo and was able to save the day. The most fun audience I've ever had was 30 third graders who showed me that my product worked with a touch interface when I had never even thought to try it. You're here because you're presenting at the first ever Cesium Developer Conference this June in Philadelphia. We definitely want to offer a huge thank you for devoting your time and effort to participating in the event, sharing your learnings, and meeting and interacting with the other OpenGeospatial developers who will be there. We also want you to be able to have the best possible impact with your presentation. Before we dive in too much further, I do want to share that we do have a special offer for all of our speakers. If you would like to invite colleagues and co-presenters to the conference and to offer them a discount on the conference fee, please share with them the following code, Cesium50, which will give them 50% off conference attendance. Okay, so the first thing that we want to think about is who is our conference audience? We expect to see developers, technical sales staff, a few company founders, and definitely some industry experts. And then actually, I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear there are going to be somewhere around 75 to 80 Bentley Cesium technical staff and executives at the event. What this really means for talks is we really recommend that you avoid sales pitches. When you're speaking to developers, you will have a lot of folks who might actually be able to collaborate with you, or might actually down the road be able to influence the use or the purchasing of a product or technology that you're working with. Don't be afraid to discuss and show technical topics, but do provide enough information to convey the value of your topic to an audience that's probably not working on specifically your subject area. And do feel free to have deep technical discussions, but we do encourage those to happen at lunch, at the breaks, so generally after or outside of the talks and sessions. We've actually split up all of the fantastic talks that we got, about 90 in total, into 6 different session and talk tracks. Organizing talks into related blocks of content allows you all to learn and converse with developers working in related areas. Some attendees may want to dive into specific topics or know that they can try something different. Ultimately, the point of conferences is to share and meet like professionals. We hope to encourage that. You can see the track names on the right. Don't worry if you can't see everything. Many talks will be posted after the event, and the entire conference audience will see the lightning talks, which cover similar content as the session blocks. We strongly encourage you not to provide confidential or proprietary information in your talks. Please don't forget that the presentations will be recorded. Of course, we will not redisplay or redistribute recordings from folks who said that they did not want that to happen. But there's no such thing as an audience-wide NDA. And I've seen folks try to say you're all under NDA before. It doesn't work that way. There's lots of things that you shouldn't talk about, but I really encourage you to consult your attorney or your boss or whoever is the one who has the best idea on what you're allowed to speak about at a public event. Keep in mind that we cannot be held responsible for any slips in confidentiality or proprietary information that might happen. You're all responsible for managing your own presentation content. As you're preparing your talk, don't forget to give credit where credit is due. If you use software such as APIs or GitHub repositories or data that come from third parties, please make sure that you have permission, use the correct attribution, and we strongly encourage you to make friendly references to them in your talk. Keep in mind that some of the folks whose software or data you use might actually be in the audience. When speaking to a multicultural audience in which there's a mix of English and non-native English speakers, but when the presentations are all in English, keep in mind that there are a few things that can help your audience get the most out of your talk. We encourage you to avoid jokes and unnecessary cultural references that would need extra context. Try to be clear and concise. Use natural language as much as possible, so limit acronyms and unusual jargon. And don't forget that as fantastic as some zero text presentations can be, in the case where your presentation may be recorded and then played after the event, some text is super helpful with understanding what you were saying and translating that after you're no longer in the room. Presentations are experiences. You're not simply talking about a feature or technology. You're interacting with an audience and hoping they'll notice and remember what you have to say. When you think about your presentation as an experience, you want to focus on speaking to a specific audience in a manner that connects with their interests, engaging the audience through your topic, but also through story, and leaving the audience with a clear conclusion or message that speaks to your overall impact and output. One model for thinking through the impact of your presentation is to focus on 3 key elements. The first element to consider is the audience. Who is going to be sitting in the room with you, and who might be watching your content later online? What are their job roles? What are their professional interests, and how are they related to your work? You are speaking to these specific individuals. The second element is the focus of your work. Ultimately, your audience is there to learn about what you built or implemented. The audience will be interested to understand how you solved a problem, overcame some challenge with technology, or released something significant and new. We'll refer to the final element as the wow. What is the big takeaway for your listeners? Why did your work make a difference? What could the audience do to get involved? The more you can inspire the audience to understand the value and impact of your work, the more they will remember your presentation. People remember stories more profoundly than they remember details. To construct a story within your presentation, you can follow several different patterns. A pattern called the hero's journey focuses on a sequence in which a hero, who could be you, a customer, or a user, solves a problem and then communicates about that to a community. To build this type of story, you would describe an existing or starting problem and then explain how you found out about a possible solution to the problem. At that point, you would describe some of how you implemented the solution, including detail illustrating difficulties or adversity that you had to overcome to create your solution. After that, you need to demonstrate that your solution provided value. You may have metrics, visuals, or testimonials describing this value and impact. Finally, you would explain how you're working to make this solution available to a broader audience, such as more customers or even the open geospatial community. Try sketching an outline of your own hero's journey and see if that helps you structure your presentation. Okay, let's talk a little bit about timing and templates. The lightning talks are going to be 5 minutes only. There will be no Q&A. They'll be delivered from a common computer, so we're asking folks to deliver their presentations by June 16th. The lightning talks will be slides and video only, so no live demos, and they have to be in PowerPoint. If you have video content, for example, please embed the videos in your PowerPoint. The full conference sessions are 20 minutes. We suggest for those who want Q&A that they plan for 15 to 17 minutes of content. There also may be a little setup time if you are delivering this from your own laptop, which in most cases you will. We recommend focusing on slides and visuals, including video. It may be possible to do some local demos, but we advise against any online connected demos, keeping in mind that we'll be on the hotel conference center Wi-Fi. Please be prepared for smooth transitions from speaker to speaker and be adaptable to give all of our speakers their full time slots. If you are going to have Q&A, which again, there will be none during the 5-minute lightning talks, we recommend that you say up front whether or not you're going to accept questions during or after your presentation. That is up to you. Typically, I would recommend in this time bucket to hold them for the end. Manage your time during your responses. Don't be afraid of asking a questioner to approach you after the session's over. And repeat the question every time so the entire audience can hear it. And if you're not sure how to respond or can't respond, don't be afraid. Just simply say so and move on to the next question. And if you want, you can also ask the person to come up and talk to you more at the end of your session. Some presentation styles recommend that you don't actually start out with an intro of yourself. Others strongly recommend an intro. What should you do? I think there are two ways to start a presentation. You can start with a story that kind of captures the audience attention. And often what you'll find is that story in some way is revealing more information about you. Or you can literally just start with a relevant intro of who you are. Make sure the audience does hear who you are and why you're there. How are you connected to the topic? Personal intros can be great, but we do definitely want to know why you're relevant to be there up in front of us today. And when you're providing context, keep in mind that there may be viewers of the recorded content afterwards. Introducing yourself does help in a multicultural, multi-language setting, and it also helps to have your name and face so that it can kind of break the ice when somebody sees you at a break after your session. We do request that everyone use, for their title slide only, a template that we've put together for the conference. The templates will be available at the speaker portal, and you are encouraged to use your own company's organization logo on the first slide and elsewhere. We just want to be able to have a common opening experience for everybody at the event, and it will help things look even better for the recorded content later. All right. We really do ask you to join us and have fun. Be yourself and remember that you are the expert. We are all there to learn from you, to cheer you on, and keep in mind that often, as other geospatial developers, we'll know how hard it is for you to do what you do. Consider and emphasize the big message that you want the audience to remember. Some speakers will often repeat the big message in some way at the end of their presentation. And never forget that the better your presentation is, the more likely you are to get more mileage out of it down the road. So thank you all very much for spending a little bit of time with me and for devoting your time and effort to speak at the first ever Cesium Developer Conference. Again, if you'd like to invite colleagues and co-speakers, please give them the code Cesium50 with a capital C so that they can get 50% off their attendance. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at chris.andrews@bentley.com. Or if you want to contact a broader team, you can contact hello@cesium.com. We're super excited to host you in Philadelphia, and we definitely want to thank our technology sponsor, Google Cloud. Thanks again, folks, and please get in touch if you have any questions.